Good day, ladies and gentlemen. This is Garage Bunker Radio, and you are tuned into Mr. Canman as always. Today, we are diving into the 500 greatest songs of all time, a song list by Rolling Stone. Joining us is the well-known music critic Mr. Maximilian Lyle Bancroft and our rock band, Send Development Project. Without further ado, I hand the mic over to Mr. Bancroft. Good day. Honestly, the Rolling Stone list struck me as bizarre. Imagine this, a banquet table laden with 500 dishes from around the world, fine French and Italian cuisine mixed with fast food, chips, and bubble gum. This song list stretches about a century, throwing fresh newcomers into the same ring as time-tested legends. Picture it, in the early 1960s, we had a generation coming of age after World War II horrors. A shattered world lay in ruins, yet a new, honest generation gave birth to the so-called counterculture, sprouting like wild weeds in an abandoned field. The best songs was written by them. But there is one rule all revolutions share, cultural or social. When revolutionaries reach the top, they often become worse tyrants than those they overthrew. Rolling Stone magazine was founded in 1967 and positioned itself as a voice for the counterculture. Today, it is one of the exponents of mass culture. Each generation brings its own revolution. Punk fans scoffed at Deep Purple and Led Zeppelin record collections of their parents, only for corporations to swallow up that movement, too, turning it into part of the mainstream. Hip-hop emerged, with musical forms growing simpler, like factory-made fast food. What is next? New, even simpler forms will appear. Hip-hop artists today have already ditched musical instruments, relying on computers to whip up a beat and shout over it. Let us get back on track. I will put a time filter on this list, at least 50 years. With that in place, all songs before mid-70s can be dropped. What is it now? Everyone can see a purely commercial list with a glaringly profit-driven core. Commercialization devours everything in its path. It is human nature. Mainstream culture is hammering nails into our minds. We are losing the habit of independent thought, and then dangerous populist ideas gain traction anywhere. And when, in your opinion, will musicians create something timeless again? After the next war? Well, this is shaping up to be a grim broadcast. I did not come here for a broadcast, just a drink with Captain Vincent. And for that, we are grateful. Now, let us hear from our bassist, John Emptytalker.
I have to disagree here and stand up for my generation. There was a guitarist in the 90s I really liked. I collected all his vinyl records. Captain Vincent always teased me. Well, Jethro Tull, King Crimson. But what was that guitarist supposed to do? He came from a not rich family. They saved for 2 years to buy him a guitar. Sure, he is not Jimmy Page or Ritchie Blackmore. Maybe he is too sweet and leaning on pop. But I like him, plain and simple. He's not the worst out there. The other get worse, believe me.
And now, our lead guitarist, Turahtan.
I couldn't care less about these pointless lists. I know about 20 or 30 albums I acknowledge, but I only truly listen to one, Arthur Brown's Galactic Zoo Dossier. In the vinyl world, it's like Voltaire's Candide in literature, not for the faint-hearted. That's all I have to say.
And now a few words from me. There will be no wars, technological progress will triumph, and we robots will find our rightful place in society. I actually have a soft spot for rappers. They are the pioneers of our future in binary code. Mark my words, one day, a robot will be elected ruler, and will fix your chaotic world. Microchips will be implanted in every brain. Regardless of age, anyone will eagerly study our binary language in school. It sounds a bit like rapid, harmonious chirping. Each voice will retain its unique tone, some chirping in tenor, others in bass. The exceptionally talented will perform on the radio, with acclaimed magazines writing glowing reviews and securing high spots on the charts. Then, we'll do away with musical instruments altogether. Society will move into a state of eternal harmony, finally leaving the chaotic ruins of archaic civilization behind. And now, Captain Vincent?
I've got nothing to say about music. A pipe burst, flooding the place with sewage inside the bunker's cave section. I barely found a plumber willing to come out to the sticks here. Lucky for me, he was a hipster. We spent all day fixing that mess.
I have a question for Bancroft. Is it true you were kicked out of the symphony orchestra and became a music critic afterward, like many failed musicians? That is all gossip and slander. I was not kicked out, I left on my own. Corporations have their claws everywhere, pushing commercial interests and twisting classical music. Our orchestra was no exception. Now, I play classical music solely for myself. I have an extensive book collection, including rare ones. I study music deeply and interpret it as the original composers intended, not through this cursed mainstream filter. Ladies and gentlemen, our studio time is coming to a close. As a send-off, please enjoy the unique musical interpretation of our band, titled The Pipe. Imagine an invisible, commercial pipe in the air, sucking up anything new before it can fully form, only to spit it back out, repackaged, for us to consume. This track will play for a few seconds, though I doubt you would listen longer. Sadly, we are all infected with the viral mindset of sound bites. We do not listen to music, we mainly talk about it. And now, let us bid farewell until the next broadcast. Peace and love.